Hello, hello, good morning. It's Monday already. So let me just adjust that. There we go, that's a little bit better. Hope everyone's well and hope you've all got a nice busy week ahead with lots planned. Sorry, that's better. There we go. So I'm just going to request, hopefully we'll be able to sort this out this morning and everything will all be hunky-dory. So let's have a look. Can't spell, so there we go. Cool, and off we go. So hopefully she'll pop up any minute now, we're hoping. Obviously it's her first time, a lot of people, it is their first time doing this, so yay!
Hello.
That was easy.
I was really nervous about it. Hello.
Hello,
Turn
good
it off a
morning,
little
you all
bit.
right?
Yes, I'm good. You?
Yeah, really good. Yeah. Dried off now after the weekend of we had an event at Ewhurst, which we got there and it was downpour and raining. I was like, I don't know if I
Oh.
wanted to, but the sun did come out and it was yeah, it was very very muddy, but it was a good day. So it was just drying everything off and washing everything yesterday. So yeah,
Oh,
everything you name it. So
well,
look,
I'm
please
actually,
introduce.
sorry, go on. Although this is a
Yeah,
grey backdrop, I'm actually
yeah,
in Scotland. So I'm actually visiting my
lovely.
sister. So I'm in Bonnie, Scotland as we speak. And yes, it was pouring with rain from the moment I arrived.
Yeah, there we go. It's August. It has to rain. It's summertime. So
Yeah.
please let everyone introduce yourself and tell us what you make and sell.
Great. Okay, so I am the Celtic Pantry, and it's shortbread. It's more than shortbread.
It is.
It's artisan shortbread,
Yeah,
and it's infused and inspired by the season. So it's all with a twist generally,
yeah,
flavors. I do the traditional butter because I think I'd get shot if I didn't do
yeah.
the plain traditional. But yes, it's all different flavors. And we're in the summer range at the moment, so I would say my kind of signature one at the moment would be my rose. So I don't do lavender because I think that's quite easy to get hold of. So I
Yeah.
like to try and like expand people's mind when it comes to shortbread.
Wow.
I mean, that's how I met you, didn't I?
Yes. Plying us with shortbread.
Yeah.
Try this, try this. And it was great. I think we bought two from you and thought, we'll have those as a treat. And they ended up, because we
Yeah.
had a sweet one, didn't we? And that went with the Prosecco. And then the other one, it went with the cheese. So we ate them both of them.
Yeah.
it,
Oh,
we were
I
going to
do. I
save them.
absolutely love it.
Yeah, they are. They're
Yeah.
really good. And we were, if you have a look, Lucy's here from Inzo, Surrey. So we were talking about it yesterday. So go back and have a look at that. We were praising your shortbread. So she's here today,
Oh,
which is
she's
really
absolutely love Lucy. She's
oh,
another thing that's quite
go ahead.
different that you wouldn't generally kind of see, which I think is what maybe caught your eye,
Yes.
is that they come in glass jars.
Yeah.
So essentially, I haven't got one to show you because I'm not at home, but um, basically they come in glass jars, which is like your own little cookie jar.
Yeah.
So it's a lovely way of storing them. And obviously, I do the refill and reuse, so
You
you
do.
get your
Yeah.
discount.
I came up with mine.
So it doesn't go in the bin. So for packaging, it just came to me and I thought that's a brilliant idea and it's really caught people's eyes. And actually, I've got COVID to thank for that because before I used to do it in really big glass jars, like at coffee shops, the big like biscotti
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
And then obviously everyone was getting really aware about if you're doing markets, how do you keep it as safe as possible?
Yeah.
So I started to decant them into the small jars, and that is basically
Oh,
that meant that I didn't have to keep opening the jar, putting the tongs in, kind of having it open to the public. So
yeah.
it was a happy accident. So that's a positive about
Yeah.
COVID.
That's one good thing. Obviously, with our events we had last year, the autumn, the Christmas, and the June one, there were no tasters. But now, yes, tasters are
Yeah.
back.
Well, I mean, that seals the deal for me, definitely.
Yeah,
Once you try, you generally buy, hopefully.
yeah, and it's isn't it because we were talking yesterday. You're evoking the senses, so you have everything there, and you get to taste yours, and then that's it. Because it all, I mean, your store and everything you've done. I know that you've been developing what you know, your branding and everything, but you know, it's also about the taste, isn't it? And that they do taste very good. And yeah, I mean that with heartedly as well. So why did you set up your business, and how did you come up with your business name?
Okay, so
It's
basically it
going
was
to be a long
therapy. That's
story.
where it, no, yeah, I'll try and make it really short. It was therapy. That is how it started. I was doing like different kinds of cooking, tracing myself back to my grandma, really, very close to her,
Yeah.
trying to think of like just thinking of her making something very Scottish because she was a real Celt woman. I mean, her name
Yeah.
was Mrs. Scott.
Oh.
So it doesn't get more Scottish than that. So really, unfortunately, she passed away, and I was just making and baking, and the shortbread happened. Started to share it, giving it out to friends and family, and they said, "You've got a gift. You should do something with it."
Wow. Yeah.
And that is, yeah, and that's basically where it starts. with the name, Celtic, obviously being getting right back to the Scottish roots. The pantry, well, again, so I was actually, because I'm here visiting my sister, and she said to me yesterday, I went, oh gosh, yeah. So again, your subconscious works in a funny way, but we always used to sneak into our grandma's pantry.
Yeah.
All the good stuff was in there.
Yeah.
So I think that was on my mind. It's like so she had like, she was in this old granite house, and there was this like doorknob into this pantry that was just full. It was full of everything.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, the Celtic Pantry. Now, you might, well, I have sent you this. This is, I do have my card with me, so I've just had my business card done. And there is the logo, which is designed on my grandma's bookmark. And there you go, you'll see as well the different colours for the seasons. It might be a bit fuzzy. But the logo was based on a bookmark that my grandma had. And Rennie McIntosh inspired as well, which I love him. He's such a great artist. Yeah, so that is it. And also the pantry, because there were various things that I tried before shortbread. I tried to make tablet. I don't know if you know what tablet is. It's like it's a Scottish fudge. I had it for my favourites for my wedding. Tried to make that first. Didn't go well.
Right.
It's quite science based. You've got to get the right melting point. It didn't work out very well. So, but when I was thinking about the pantry, I was thinking maybe I've got more products in me one day. At the moment, I'm totally shortbread obsessed, but using the name of the pantry, maybe in the future, something else might come along.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you do the Caesars. I think that's a really, really good thing, because when you come and see you, you're not going to have, you know, people, oh, have you got that? Well, no, that was last season. So it's almost, isn't it? You're buying into, which is really good, isn't it? And it's almost, it's like a limited edition. And then, you know, and you can bring it back next year or add something else to, because probably with you get people go, oh, why didn't you try this? And then if there's a few, and then you kind of think, oh, actually, a few people have said that. That's going to make money.
Absolutely. Feedback is so important, and getting kind of people's feedback on what they are thinking about the flavors. And like you say, I mean, the rose one, I actually did. I did put it out for Mother's Day because I thought it's such a nice occasion shortbread. It's lovely with a glass of prosecco. It's lovely. I do it for baby showers, for friends, like weddings. That rose is just so beautiful. So even though it does work seasonally, I'm starting to think of kind of those more special events, so things like Father's Day, Easter. So I did a hot cross bun one, which went down really well. So the seasons are lovely.
Yeah, I know a lot of people experiment, you know, my fudge and things like that, and you know, all of that. They do a lot of that themselves and experiment and see, you know, with the seasons, which is good, isn't it? And like you said earlier, lavender, kind of everyone does that. It's easy to do, so it's almost you don't want to be like everyone else. It's good to be unique, isn't it? Which is really great. So whereabouts are you based, and where do you make all of your shortbreads?
Yeah, so it's from home in the kitchen. I think as time has gone by and obviously the quantities have increased and your efficiency gets so much better. So I've kind of got a real kind of way in which I work. I'm thankful because my bakes are quite short, so I can do it in rotation. I can have it all out of the way. I kind of block out time throughout the week. So it's at home, and that's really great because obviously I've got a young family, so it ticks a lot of boxes for me. But again, when you're thinking about that growth, you're thinking, what's next? How can I do? What can I do?
Yeah.
So I've been really I've been chewing on the idea that one day I'd really quite like the idea of a baking studio, maybe,
Lovely.
where I can invite people to perhaps come and have an experience. And I mean, there's a Scottish word called blether, which
Yeah.
means talking,
Yeah.
chatting, well, not banter, but
Yeah.
and I was kind of thinking that baking and chatting,
Yeah.
because it's really therapeutic. You're rolling out dough. It's almost like Play-Doh. You're playing with it. You're putting your flavors in. So when you've got like orange and cardamom, it's probably one of my favorites to make because the kitchen just comes alive. It's such a lovely smell. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I was thinking I'd love to have a baking studio one day. But on the flip side of that, I'm also looking at, your local community, trying to see about churches, that kind of thing. So another like catering outlet that can be close to home.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's from home. It works really well. I've tweaked everything down to even the table. So I changed the height of my table because, again, when you're rolling and cutting, it's a bit like when you see me at work, it's a bit like more like a chocolatier. You're
Mm.
rolling and you're cutting, and
Yeah.
it's all handcrafted. They all go on the tray individually.
Yeah.
So I'm there for a while. So it was getting the height of that table at the right, because I could feel it in my back. Like that's the thing, you're on your feet a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And the baking
Yeah.
thing as well, you said there, isn't it? Is that whole of getting people together and, putting their
Yeah.
different play. And it's a really, I think there's so much. And I think, I'm working on some bits, some workshops and whatever. And, it'd be great if we could find somewhere where I had a little kind of kitchen where we could bring people and have different, people like you as well that could host and do things. But obviously we need the ovens and that to do that. But, yeah, I think sort of working together and workshops and things and just, being creative.
It's really
Yeah.
opened my mind to the fact that actually when you think about baking, or you think about like when you're making a home cooked produce,
Yeah.
there's kind of an idea in your head that it's like locked away. You're very much focused in the zone, which is true. But it's also like, on the flip side of that, when you cook at home with family and friends, you're all together. So
Yeah.
it's like, it would be really nice to find some sort of middle ground that isn't just like
Yeah.
sweating away in your kitchen by yourself.
Yeah. I love cooking. I mean, I am a qualified chef by trade from years and years ago. And that's my go-to. I find it so therapeutic. I love just to have a load of food, and I'll make something. I've got something left, and I'll make that. And sometimes I just keep going and going, and the table's full of. And then I put it all in the freezer, and it's all fresh, and I just absolutely love it. My neighbour knocked on the door yesterday with 2 massive courgettes, and I'm like, oh, what can I make with those? And I've given her like courgette bhaji recipes, and there's all different things. And there's one where you just grate the courgette, honey and oil and poppy seeds, and just run it over a salad, and you have to eat it quite quick, otherwise it goes all soggy. And then we're sharing recipe ideas because she's got courgettes and don't know what to do with them.
I think I'd love to. So again, my thing is, if I'm growing, for me, investing in people. So getting people to join me and keep the dream coming true and enjoy what they do, and be part of that creative process as well. So that is a bit further down the line. I think I'm just going to stick to being a one-man band for a bit longer, just until I've kind of ironed out all my creases. But then I'd absolutely love to get people on board.
How great would it be, and maybe this is an idea of how cool would it be that you've grown stuff in your garden and you can bring that to then make something. There was on the Isle of Wight, that's where I'm originally from, there was a pub in Godshill. Absolutely, they do this meringue pie, and the meringue's about this big on it. It's just beautiful. But what they would do is you could come along and give your vegetables in exchange for beer. And I just
that's
thought,
a great
so
idea.
they would work with what they have at that time. And
that's brilliant.
I just thought, this is so cool, isn't it? Because it's so great. Anyway, we'll blabber on. There we go. So, have you a favourite item? Is there a favourite item to create that you like? Or
everyone asks me that. I mean, I think you might have been guilty of asking me this on the stall. And I don't actually have a favourite. mine's is mood related. And again, if it's sunny outside, I want to be having the citrus ones. I want to have lemon and
Yeah.
thyme, or lemon and poppy, orange and cardamom. If it's cold outside or I've got a glass of red wine, I want a savoury one. So the cheese one, which was completely, I mean, I'm still a bit shocked about the success of the savoury cheese ones. And that came
Yeah.
from some feedback on the stall. Have you thought about it? I thought, oh, I'll try and like figure out a way. And now that's like one of my strongest sellers. So again, it's definitely keeping those ears open, listening to what people have to say. And
Yeah.
so no, there isn't a favorite. It really is mood related. And also I think, you know, it's occasion. So I kind of did a few things for Wimbledon, which was, you know, using it as a 2-bite canopy, so you can put some fresh cream and fruit on there.
Yeah.
So really, whatever your base is, it's like, so with I did the cheddar and chive, with a little bit of creme fraiche and some smoked salmon, a little chive as a, you know, walking round nibbles.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah. Canapes would be lovely, isn't it? And also,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's that bit where, you know, people like sweet, people like savoury. I mean, I used to love it sometimes. The National Trust did it. Instead of a cream tea, you could get like a cheese scone
Yeah.
with a bit of cheese and some pickle, and that's just like heaven, isn't it? And that with a beer, it's just, you know, that's a great afternoon
Yeah.
tea. And because there are those, I think some places in London they do like a gentleman's afternoon tea, and it's like pork pie and sausage rolls and being a vegetarian.
I like pork pies.
But you know, it's that bit, isn't it? Just there, we all like different things, and talking to people and going, actually, the savoury bits. And like I say, when we were with you, we just both of them. Let's have the savoury, and you know, Rod. That's really, it becomes quite nice each time we come to visit you. So, have you been working on anything new this year at all? What's your next seasonal flavour?
Yeah, so I've been working with, I want to give them a bit of a shout out, which is Dyer's Printers and Leatherhead. So they're a family run business, been going for over 100 years. So we're working together. So they helped me come up with the logo for the business cards, and doing some postcards and looking at packaging for boxes. So kind of so that you can have a choice of gift boxing it basically and having more than one, which obviously leading up to Christmas, I think people start maybe thinking more about shortbread as it turns a bit colder. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I think I've got the, like you say, I've got the stall down to a T. And, you know, it is quite hard work for one person when you're going out doing that. So for me as well, it's that life-work balance. So, because obviously it's weekend work as well and having that family. So it's just trying to think, you know, where else, you know, what other direction can I go? So, you know, I was thinking private catering would be fantastic if they do want to use it as a base for nibbles, or outlets. So coffee shops, garden centres, where I can perhaps do the big jars as well. So just keep doing what I'm doing. I've basically got all my seasonal flavours now developed, so they'll come into rotation. Also with my logo, you'll see that the colour, so the suggestion, again, that connecting with the season. So my labels will actually change colour as the season changes. So my brain will be starting to think about my autumn range, getting it together. There's things like I do apple and cinnamon, pumpkin seed and parmesan, all these just lovely toffee apple for Halloween. Literally, if you can get it in dough, if you can get it in shortbread, I'll try.
And do you know what'd be lovely as well? I think, you know, as well, you know, like with weddings going forward, I think as well, they're going to change so much. I think the couples are wanting to get creative. How cool would it be that they could come up with their own, you know, cookie,
flavor, absolutely,
not cookie, sorry, you know, and you know the flavors they put into it, and even maybe design their own logo and have that you know, on the table. How, you know, and that I think there's more and more of that going on. That people, you know, making your own wedding cakes and things. How cool would that be? So I think I think as well, there's a lot of things going on with weddings where they're a lot different. It's a bit more of a festival vibe and things like that.
Yes, agreed.
I know that the weekend there were some events that were supposed to happen that didn't because of the weather. There was I met yesterday, you know, Susie Eats the Seasons.
Yes, she's lovely.
Yesterday, Susie's she's obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, she's a caravan with catering, but she's poorly at the moment. But she was there yesterday with a gazebo, so what was I going to say? I've totally gone off what I was going to say. It'll come back to me.
I think we're talking about weddings and events and festivals and
Yeah,
that
yeah, and
vibe.
she was planned this weekend. She was at this big, massive event, and it all got cancelled because there was no way they could put the marquee. It was so soggy. So she's got
Yeah.
all of this food, and she managed to get into the Artisan Market yesterday. You know, with a gazebo.
Oh.
But it is, isn't it? That where the weather. Come on, we need sunny weather because
It is quite weather dependent. I think
yeah,
doing it through that January, February period was definitely, it was a real test to your kind of
yeah,
true grit, getting out there and setting up and
yeah,
staying on your stall all day, which obviously is wonderful about you guys and the fact that you found me.
yes,
And, you know, I feel like we've got quite a shared vision when it comes to small business and
yeah.
unique individual. And the fact you do indoor markets is like brilliant. You know, Dorkenhorse is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I think I've jumped ahead a little bit, but yes, I think,
No, that's fine. And
um,
that's what Susie was saying yesterday, because she's got the caravan and that's where she goes. She realised yesterday she had to quickly kind of go, oh, because she's, you know, got this food
yeah,
to sell and she had the gazebo, but she said, look, I've got everything here on a table. I can, if I need to, not necessarily have Susie when she's poorly. That sounds really weird, doesn't it?
yeah,
Caravan that's
ah,
poorly, but it's that way of
yeah,
adapting, isn't it? Because how lovely, isn't it, when you go to these events and the weather's beautiful and there's all the lovely gazebos, but when it's raining and it's muddy, it just really kind of, you know, it's a different kind of experience, isn't it, for everyone?
yeah.
So we have an ethos. So I think you were just saying there about being creative, unique, and friendly. Is there a kind of ethos that you have?
Yeah, so again, I think for me, I don't have a final destination, which I think is good. So I haven't gone, this is what I've got, and this is how I see the end result.
Yeah,
It's just constantly moving, changing,
yeah,
flexible, like being open, listening. I've learned so much from
yeah,
all the other stall holders, different people who do different markets. And so it's kind of, you know, like you said, not dead set on. So you talk about weddings. Again, I was thinking favors and, you know, you used to have the sweetie stall. Actually, my stall, who's to say that that would be a lovely sweet treat or savory as
yeah,
you're going throughout the day. And so it's just, yeah, I'd say the ethos is just to definitely try and stick with those seasons and try and get people thinking about that connection and just learning,
yeah,
keeping all your options open
yeah,
and, you know, finding what's right for your product, I think, is and self-belief. So I believe in my product a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
Me and my self-belief is where I get a bit shaken. I have to keep going back to the Celtic Pantry to get the strength to go, this is what I'm doing. So again, I think, you know, so social media, you know, I'm not the best at it. So thank you for helping me try and grow and develop this
yeah.
part of what I'm doing. So yeah, it's just constant learning. That's what it is.
And I think with you as well, isn't it? That's one thing I love about that. You have this vision, you have this passion for what you make, and you can see it, and you're evolving each time, and you're almost look at this, look what I'm doing, and it's like, you know, you're really excited about the logo, and you know, and the things that are gradually changing, and you're making yourself that little bit more unique and standing out from the others because what you offer isn't really what everyone else is doing, isn't it? And you believe and you want to, and I think as well earlier talking to you, it's about your grandma, it's about that cooking, it's about that passion, about that memory of her who's no longer here. It's now there. It's alive still, isn't it? It's something
Yeah,
that you can take.
absolutely.
You know, it's you know, your grandma's there with you, isn't she? She's there at the store
Yeah.
watching you, and you know,
Yeah.
she's probably there telling you should be doing that or I should be changing that. So it is, isn't it? That guidance in life.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So your goals and dreams for this year. I mean, you know, you're doing so well, but what is there any sort of just keep going, isn't it? I would say. Is there anything that you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, I think as well, looking after myself. I've had a bit of a tricky summer at the moment. We've had a bit of a quarantine period, and there's been lots of hurdles and barriers. which, you know, again, you just have to move on really quickly and not get hung up on it and go, okay, it doesn't matter. So obviously I'm currently in Scotland at the moment, so when I get home, it'd be cracking on, but I need to start preparing for Christmas and that change in
Yeah.
flavours. And yeah, so that's probably where my head is at, is and I think that's probably as well the thing which most people who if they're working seasonally, which I know that Susie is massively seasonal as well, is that
Yeah.
you're never really currently in the season because you're always slightly in the next one.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about like all the apples and thinking about like my rum and raisins. So it's like, you know, that's the thing is, and also I've got my dog, I go out walking a lot. And so I get, you know, you see things growing like, so elderflower, thinking, oh, that would be amazing for next summer. And that's it, just connecting, watching, trying to look after myself will be a big thing as well, because, you know, if I burn out, it's not good to anyone. So definitely trying to just, again, find that balance. Everyone's trying to find the balance. But
Yeah.
I do something that I love, and I do. And I would advise anyone to just go out there and start doing what they love. And if they can manage to keep themselves afloat and keep themselves healthy, well, then it's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's very true, isn't it? I mean, there's so many people at the moment, and I even you know, had to make their kind of hobby into their business. And there's people at the moment that are kind of almost sick of what their jobs and wanting that, like, can I do it? Can I do it? And it's almost like, yeah, believe it. You know, it's almost believing in yourself, and it's not easy. It's far from it. But you know, but that's what I'm trying to achieve with Curated, that we've got our own little family together, that we can all, you know, we can all chat to each other, guidance, help, anything like that. Just a quick text message or on Instagram, blah blah blah, and that advice, and it can just lift you up and go, yeah, actually I can do it. And you know, we're all in it together, aren't we? Which is it's
well, that
true.
When you say about like that support network and how does it work, obviously your family and your friends help enable you to do what you do, but actually it is people like you, it's people like who run other markets who, you know, it's that touching base. Are you okay? You seem a little bit off today. Because the fact of the matter is, it's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of hard work. We're all doing it. And that is the truth. You can't deny that. But hard work doesn't feel that hard when you're with people, you enjoy being, you know, it's just, that's why we all do it. We all turn up, and so it's great that us as stall holders at that very small start have people like yourself that are somewhere, you know, just there, just helping, keeping us a little bit on the straight and narrow, keeping us organized.
But it is, isn't it? It's that bit of coming to an event and just knowing everything, you know, and that's what's really important. You know where you are in the room, you know what's expected of you, you know who's next to you, you know who else, you know, you've made that connection with all the other people, and you know, and that is what I'm trying to sort of do. So when you get to the event, you are not a stranger. You pretty much know everyone by, even if it's just liking their post or commenting, all those little things really help. Earlier when we were saying, I think we're allowed to in August say the C word, Christmas, and you know, and the thing is, people might go, God, what's this crazy woman talking about Christmas already? But also, you need to come up with your flavours. You know, we've got Emma here going, any hints to Christmas flavours? We're not giving away anything, Emma. She's not telling you anything. But you know, but also, you know, you need to then come up with your ideas. You need to make sure they're right, you know, and bake them, and you know, all the other things that people don't see that goes into being a small business owner. You know, your packaging, your designing, the, you know, the all of what goes behind getting to the event, sorting out you know, kids, to look after the kids and things like that as well, and making sure that they're all happy. And you know, there's not just, you just turn up and I've just, these shortbreads, I keep saying cookies, sorry, these shortbreads have just appeared out of nowhere. You've probably been baking for the last 3 days, haven't you, constantly? So you know, that's what they need. And I think a lot more people now, and especially coming to our events, know what goes into it. And you know, we're getting away now from those events where people are selling crap, you know what I mean? And that we don't want to be with those, do we? And we all understand that, if it's something that you're sewing or you're baking or you're doing artwork, we're all doing the same thing. It's all the same effort that goes into it as such.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
who would you say is your support network?
My husband, I've got to give him a shout out,
Yeah,
my Dan. Without him, this would not be possible. That's a fact. And
yeah,
like you say, you know, there's sacrifices you have to make along the way. Um, but then you've got to kind of counteract that. So obviously, in the summer, some of the stuff that I've got going on, you know, Dan will attend with the girls, and that's lovely. And you know,
yeah,
I might be in the middle of having a chat, and kind of somebody's approached the stall, interested, and then all of a sudden these two children come running up and take a leg each, and Dan comes with the dog, and so everyone's getting to know, you know, not just me, but you know what goes on behind. Like you say, there's a lot of
yeah.
processes, and so Dan definitely, and the family, friends, you know, for that reassurance, and your market stall, other market stall holders for
Yeah.
sure, because you've got to bounce, you know. When you're in the kitchen, a lot of us will operate on our own for periods of time where we're not around people, and almost the holiday bit, the good bit of the job is getting out there and be like, hey, like, oh, what are you doing? So you know, even things, small things down to like card readers and all the practical stuff, like, well, what do you use and
Yeah,
how does it work for you, and what's your
yeah,
gazebo like, and this table, and you know, you just get chatting. But also, and not just that, but also like, you know, if you've been under a lot of stress, pressure, if your events have been cancelled, you know, it's quite an emotional roller coaster
mm,
at times. And so again, I think that is, you've got to be supportive to one another and say, don't worry, you know, if you haven't had a great day, it's fine, you know, maybe this just wasn't the one for you today. And actually, I do genuinely get delight from other people doing well, because like you say, we don't just come individual. It wouldn't work. I
yeah,
wouldn't work if I was just on my own somewhere. Coming together is giving people that experience. You know, with COVID, we've been starved of um, any kind of, you know, interaction, smells, noise, taste. Seeing kids out on this markets, coming to events is
mm,
wonderful, because you know, they almost look like wide-eyed again, as if, you
yeah,
know. So it's, yeah,
yeah,
I'd say the stall holders and who you're dealing with at the time is really a massive support.
yeah. And what you said earlier as well, when you do your events and you've got the girls, you know, the kids come along. Also, as well, isn't it? Maybe to get them involved so they understand about running a business, because, you know, kids can go to school and they can learn loads of stuff that sometimes isn't relevant in the real world, isn't it? And actually, then getting them to talk to customers, getting them to get confident, isn't it? Getting them to
Yeah.
tell them
Yeah.
what they like, and that's a really nice thing of, because that kind of is really nice, that then they look up to you and go, well, actually, mummy can do this, so that, later in life they might think, well, actually, I can do that.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to say as well with you as well, isn't it? I think one thing I learned when I used to be in French Connection as a manager was, it was very much that when you come out of the office and went onto the shop floor, it's your stage. And I think still more than anything, that's what I'm trying to get across to all of you guys as well, is that, yeah, you might have problems with the hubby, or you've had a row with kids, or blah, blah, blah. As customers, we don't care about that, do we? It's very true, isn't it? And it's like,
Yeah.
you've had all the whatever going on, but there you go, you set up your store and there you are, you're there and whatever. And it might be that something's really tragic going on, but you then selling, isn't it? And sometimes if people are having a bad day, maybe because they're not interacting with customers, isn't it? And it's that bit where you put on your
Yeah.
face, you're like on stage, and somebody said to
Yeah.
me about that, a manager, a French Connection, said it's like being on stage. And I think it still is, isn't it? That you do
Yeah.
all of that. Look at my lovely woman, and you're saying it constantly. At the end of it, you're kind of, God Almighty, I sound like a broken record. It is, isn't it? How many times, on Saturday, and here's our range of hair scrunchies, the beard,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
cravats, and we do beard oil, and we do a candle. And,
Yeah.
oh gosh, shut up.
Uh,
But yeah, and it is how you come across, which people, I think, are really wanting. And if you go into a shop, you don't want a miserable member of staff serving you, whoever, isn't it? So
yeah.
just sort of saying that. But you're great. Even when we see you, you're always passionate about what you're doing, which you know, that's why we were like, we have to have this woman coming to our events. And because of the that's the next question. So what events are you doing with Curated by Dapper Suave this year?
So I'm doing October with you, and I'm doing November, and then we haven't really gone further than that yet. I obviously came to the one in
Yes.
June,
June,
which was
yes.
absolutely wonderful.
Yep.
And I knew I could nestle in quite lovely in amongst that lovely group of stall holders, and just again so unique, very individual, very diverse. So I'm really chuffed, and as well Dorking Hall. So I touched on the fact that I really love this artist Rennie
Yeah.
McIntosh, and but it's quite Art Deco as well. And so being at Dorking Halls, it's such a great venue. So I just think it's just going to be brilliant for me. And yeah, so that's what we've got planned together so far, but I
Yeah.
think that maybe
There's as well, we'll go for this year. We already have dates planned for next year. They're all already in the diary, which is great. And as we say, we're back in the grand hall. It's weird Christmas. We're back in the smaller room, and it almost feels quite. It's almost quite sad because that's where we started back in 2019. But COVID had given us that push to go big, and after June, when I think it was Fran from Fragelto Glass, and her saying was "go big or go home," and I thought, yeah, and that's why I did a post about it. It was like, yeah, let's go big or go home, and that was the thing with Dorking Halls who just got voted the best theatre by the Muddy Stilettos, which is great.
oh, has it? Oh, good.
They got
Good.
my vote, which was amazing. But we were able to, with COVID, we were like, well, actually, no, we'll move our event into the bigger room. And all of that, where everyone else was cancelling, and we just kept sort of going, well, actually, let's go bigger. And, as it stands, in November, we're at 50 exhibitors, which is just amazing. That's going to be a mind, And, with you guys, there was, because you do the artisan market as well, and because we'd moved the dates and whatever, it kind of fitted in nicely. I know that there are people that would do the artisan and do our events as well to give the choice and variety as well. And then, like I say, we shout out about all of the events as well. So, and we're not diluting Dorking, as I've been told. We're not that's what I got asked. I was just like, okay. By having our events, we're diluting because there's the shop fest, there's artisan and our event, and I spoke, so many people have said that's absolute rubbish. As a tourist, as whatever, coming to our lovely Dorking, how great would it be that you can go to all these different, and we're all like different things. So I don't think I'm diluting at all.
It's a shame. Some people, I think they get blindsided about kind of individual parts, but actually, like you say, it's working together as a whole. The more things that are going on, the better, because it gives Dorking that buzz. So yeah, no, I can't say I agree with that. I just I'm very much so. The more the merrier, all the time.
Definitely different. Oh, I'm not going to try and say that again. I got it wrong last time. But we all like different things, don't we? And the world would be so boring if we were all all the same, and we were robots, and we must like this and whatever. And that's what, like you say as well. I think the diversity of our events is having, and the images I got back from June of seeing that young little lad, which I just love, and he's pointing at my new favourite, the little Lego cufflinks, and it just sums up the event, because behind there's the dad, and and it's just this happy, joyous, that that picture was like, that sums it up. So with our September event, we've got another photographer, but we're really, really working on getting those shots of the customer and also the stall holders to really capture more of what we're about, because then people get to see it, and then they want to come along, and you want to show that, don't you? It's really hard that you know what our events are about, but you want to visualize and show people that in picture form. So we'll be doing,
I mean, you know that I'm a massive visual person, so when it comes to my stall, it's to invite. It's very inviting. Come in. I mean, sometimes people ask to buy my flowers. A lot of the stuff as well, I know, I'm like, oh, they're not for sale. Try some biscuits, try some shortbread.
Yeah.
But obviously we're in abundance now with like things that are growing in the garden. So I'll often just go and to cut some lavender or some, I've got some hydrangeas out and just kind of, you know what my stall's like, it just disperses
Yeah,
all around. But I definitely think, we eat with our eyes too, don't we? So.
definitely,
Yeah, and
definitely.
that's, I mean, the thing about the Dorking Hall events, that's the thing is, as soon as I walked through the door, it was just like, I want it all. I love it all. It all looks so beautiful, and that's it. And like you say, trying to capture that is
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, and the video of September, if anyone hasn't seen it, obviously this video will go on to our YouTube and just have a look at that, and that really just captures of what the whole event was about. So last question to ask you is, why did you choose to work with us? Going
Well,
down.
I mean, you both came to the stall, and I think the first thing is immediately I was drawn to you because you were open, you were listening, you were engaged with me, and I thought, and like I say, I'm quite passionate because I think there's a little bit of learning to be had as well. So I like to kind of be able to have that opportunity, and you gave it to me. So I thought, well, this is a great start. You're listening, you're tasting, you're enjoying, so that was that. And also, from the get-go, I could tell that you guys had a shared vision about that small business.
Yeah,
You must have said about 1 million times about, it's so important that people come support, look at the people that are out here. It's a true understanding of people starting off for themselves, very small. It's very
yeah.
scary. And, the more people that can recognize that, the better. And you did. And so, and you guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what I have to say was what was great about you when we first met you, your story, you were just telling us about what goes into it, about trying it. And then I just went, wow. And then I said who we were and whatever. And I was like, God, if you just keep doing that to every single customer, how we felt of walking away with your biscuits and whatever, like, wow, she really cares about it. And I think that's what really kind of come across with you, because it was, as well, it's like, yeah, and here I am. This is Celtic.
Celtic Pantry.
Celtic Pantry. I was going to say Celtic Pantry, and this is what we're about. And even, you could walk away from your store going, right, I know what that's about. There's nothing worse when you get to a stallholder or whatever, or they've got the most amazing jewelry, but then you walk away and like, I didn't know what the jeweler was. There wasn't something or the name, isn't it? They haven't got their logo or something, or it's on a little business card.
Yeah.
And you are out there like, wow, this is who I am, which is, shouting it out. And we've all got to blow our own trumpet, haven't we? And get heard in life, which is true. It is, isn't it? So yeah. As I said, we will be putting this onto Instagram TV. So I'll send it to you and you can share it on your Instagram. So I'll send it and you can share it, and then everyone can watch it. And then it will go on to YouTube. It goes also onto LinkedIn, and we do a blog. That all goes part of it, which is just something that we offer. And then tomorrow with the lovely Claire from Curated Pickle, who we'll be chatting to, which will be great. And then the couple more this week. And then I'll have a little rest, and then back at the end of the month. And then, as I said yesterday, more and more people who have joined. So we'll probably be doing another slot again in September, and then another lot in October, because it's really great just to chat. And also the people that are doing our events in September who are back for October, we can then chat to them and almost how they got on and what they liked about it. Hopefully they will like it. They'll love it. They'll love it. They'll love it. Right. How long are you in Scotland for?
Travel back on Thursday morning, so I'm gonna switch off and have some downtime with the fam. Yeah, but Jason, thank you very much, because you know that this is an area I'm not very confident in, and so you've pushed me, and I'm glad for it. So thank you.
I was thinking some sort of video chat turned up on my Instagram. I love, oh God, what's she doing? And I thought, there we are this morning. I was like, okay, yeah, she's there, good. There have been some funny things in the past with some of these, which somebody went and done their own live without me, which was just absolutely hilarious. They started their own, and I'm like, "Hello, where are you?" And they're on another one.
Well, you've kept me on the straight and narrow, so
Yeah,
thank you for your guidance, and just, yeah, thank you for letting me rave about the Celtic Pantry.
exactly. Thank you, and rave on, and we'll see you in October. Take care. See you soon.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.